No.
I'm like, what?
I'd be a little louder today if it was my birthday.
Like, it's her birthday, too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not. A lot of fog, especially near the lakefront. And then elsewhere, we're dealing with cloudy skies, and we're starting to see some rain that's advancing toward the area as well. So we have the storm system that's off to our south. It's lifting to the north and the east. If we zoom things in, you'll notice that these showers now getting very close to Kankakee County. These will continue to lift from south to north through the region this evening and tonight, likely becoming a little more scattered in nature. And I'm not expecting any strong or severe thunderstorms out there this evening or even tomorrow. But jumping ahead to Friday, that's going to be the day that we have to watch closely. The Storm Prediction Center already highlighting portions of the area in a slight risk. That's a level 2 of 5. So I'll have the timing on that as well as the hazards coming up in just a bit.
All right, Emily, thank you. We got a lot to catch you up on here, so bear with me. We want to start on Capitol Hill. The Senate has failed to pass a war powers resolution. This could have forced President Trump to stop the strikes in Iran. This was kind of expected. 5 days in, the fighting spread all over the Middle East. A lot of people aren't seeing an exit strategy yet. We're going to dive into all of that a little bit more in a bit. But we have to get to breaking news. More breaking news for you right now. This has to do with the Jeffrey Epstein investigation. Attorney General Pam Bondi just got called to testify. The House Oversight Panel wants her to talk about how the Justice Department handled files in the sex trafficking case. 5 Republicans joined Democrats to approve that subpoena.
In the meantime, the House is gearing up for a final vote on a DHS funding bill. The GOP-backed measure is an effort to pressure Democrats to end a partial shutdown. It's expected to pass the House sometime today, but will likely fail on the Senate floor, where it will need some Democratic support to overcome a filibuster. Democrats are holding out, demanding ICE reform.
And that vote's happening as the Homeland Security Secretary faces another tough crowd.
First, it was the Senate. Today, Kristi Noem took questions from members of the House.
DHS is supposed to be protecting our residents and upholding constitutional protections, but you've turned that on the head. You have actually turned the United States government against its own residents, and you've had multiple chances to take accountability, to apologize to these folks and others across the country, but you have failed to do it. Yours is a case of failed leadership, Secretary. You need to resign, be fired, or be impeached.
The House Judiciary Committee hearing is focused on whether Noem and ICE agents violated the Fourth Amendment, which protects people's rights against unreasonable search and seizure.
Let's bring it back on home now. Cook County just dropped nearly 24 cases against people who protested ICE. Most were suburban moms. The arrest happened outside the ICE Center in Broadview last November. Remember this? Prosecutors told the Tribune they dropped the cases because of extenuating circumstances. Went on to a fire that burned up 15 tents at a homeless camp in North Park right before the city was set to clear it out.
Joni is live talking to people about what happens next. Joni.
Sylvia, Terrence, there have been multiple fires at this encampment. We are in Legion Park on the north side, and they say that this was the biggest fire. In fact, as you said, 15 tents caught fire last Friday. There are still some tents in the park, still people living here, but most of the debris has been cleared away. There are a couple of encampments in this Chicago park causing friction with neighboring families who would like to use the park safely. And so now the city plans to clear out this encampment on March 17th. There are signs posted in the park. The city has sent people to talk to the people who are still living in the encampment, informing them of the day that they have to leave. Chicago police will be here to oversee it. They've also talked to them about alternative housing options. There is also a support group that is advocating for safety guidelines for the homeless so they can stay here in Legion Park. The Chicago Fire Department confirms they are investigating the fire, which happened Friday at 8:39 p.m. Now, 2 of the 4 people who are still living here talked to me off camera. One person described the fire. She said that someone was cooking, there was open flame, and it started one of the tents on fire, and then it just caught all the other tents on fire. And then there's another resident there who said that he's just going to be here and wait for city services to come by and tell him where to go next, because he says he has no other choice. Reporting live, I'm Joni Lum, Fox Chicago.
All right, thanks, Joni. A groundbreaking clinical trial led in part by a doctor at Lurie Children's is now offering hope for young patients with something called Dravet syndrome.
Yeah, if this goes through, it'll be the first gene therapy of its kind for epilepsy. Casey Cronus is live downtown with what this means for families. Casey.
Hi, Terrence and Sylvia. For those living with Dravet syndrome, daily seizures are often a devastating reality. But early trials for a new drug are showing major promise in seizure reduction and in improving other symptoms. The first 2 phases of the study have just been published in the New England Journal of Medicine. The clinical trials are exploring the use of zarifanurin in patients between the ages of 2 and 18. The drug targets a patient's normal SCN1A gene, causing it to work harder to compensate for their mutated gene. One of the experts leading the study, Dr. Linda Locks, heads the Epilepsy Center at Lurie Children's. A patient of hers named Owen has seen remarkable results in the trial, not just with fewer seizures, but also improvements in language and social development. We spoke with his mom this afternoon.
He has always been an incredibly strong and remarkable human, and to watch him connect and make friends and remember the friends' names and want to go to school and live the best version of his life possible has been incredible.
It's a very promising study. It gives the families the hope of a medicine that, because it's treating the underlying cause of Dravet syndrome, it will help them in all of the ways that the sodium channel receptor mutation harms their child.
Right now, researchers are enrolling patients in the 3rd phase of the trial. That's expected to last 1 year. Then the findings will be submitted to the FDA for review. Reporting live downtown, Casey Cronus, Fox Chicago.
Life-changing. Casey, thank you. Springfield is cooking up something new. Democrats in the Senate want to make life easier for people dealing with epilepsy and seizures. Here's what's up. They want everyone to have access to seizure detection devices if they need them. These devices aren't cheap. Some cost $250. Others go for $2 grand. Now, the new plan on the table, it would force insurance to cover the cost.
Expanding access to these devices is a critical step to ensuring longer and healthier lives for everyone. And by requiring coverage through health insurance plans, we're creating new pathways for those who suffer from a seizure disorder to get the care they deserve. It's time we work to ensure these treatments and devices are accessible to those who need them the most, not just those who can pay out of pocket to a multi-billion-dollar company.
They want insurance to cap out-of-pocket costs for these devices. The goal is no more than $50 a year.
So listen up if you're trying to save on your utility bill. There's apparently a whole network of alternative electricity and gas suppliers that are trying to rip you off. That was the subject of a news conference today with Illinois State Representative Kimberly Neely Dubaclet and the Citizens Utility Board. Cubs research has shown that consumer losses because of those alternative electricity and gas suppliers have topped $2 billion over the last decade, and they are concerned that the affordability crisis that people are now facing and the warmer weather will make for a summer that is ripe for ripoffs.
We have heard far too many stories at Cub of Illinois consumers who are paying double, triple, or even worse for their electric and gas service with an alternative energy supplier. There was Earl, who was on such a bad deal that his bill became unaffordable, and he eventually got his electric service turned off. And Chelsea, a single mom, who told us she had to take out a loan to help pay her alternative supplier charges on her bill. She was charged more than triple the utility rate. Our database is full of sad stories like this from people who just wanted to save money, but instead got slammed with higher alternative supplier charges.
Now, they're asking consumers to contact their lawmakers to pass House Bill 4313 that would put consumer protections on alternative utility companies.
We now know former Presidents Biden, Obama, and Clinton are expected at Reverend Jesse Jackson's public farewell this Friday morning. No word yet on George W. Bush or President Trump, but the homegoing service is at 10 at the House of Hope on the South Side. You can watch it on Fox Chicago or Fox Local online.
The FAA is cracking down on O'Hare traffic, and the timing couldn't be wilder.
You may want to hold off on that booking while the federal government should soon, or could soon, cut flights.
Should be happening soon. A major reconstruction plan is now set for Grand Avenue, but not everyone's happy about this. Neighbors want to know why they aren't involved.
Words are defeating me today.
The Senate weighing in Wednesday as U.S. airstrikes continue to rain down on Iran. I'm Caroline Scheidle in Washington. I'll have the latest coming up.
Hard as you do.
The White House says there are no plans for U.S. ground troops in Iran right now, but they're not saying it's off the table.
Caroline Scheidle is on Capitol Hill following the war in Iran.
The Pentagon says more U.S. forces are on the way to the Middle East as the military prepares to hit targets deeper into Iran. U.S. and Israeli airstrikes continue pounding Tehran. Wednesday, another police base in the Iranian capital was hit and destroyed. The military even bringing in B-52 bombers to join the fight. Those have been in service for more than 60 years after previous missions took out the bulk of Iran's anti-air weaponry.
We're in a very strong position now. Their missiles are being wiped out rapidly. Their launchers are being wiped out.
Iran's Navy taking heavy losses. For the first time since World War II, a torpedo fired by a U.S. sub sunk a warship in the Indian Ocean.
This was never meant to be a fair fight, and it is not a fair fight. We are punching them while they're down.
Meanwhile, Iran is bombarding its neighbors. This Iranian missile landed with a thud in a field in Syria, but failed to explode. On Capitol Hill, the Senate sounding off with a vote on a war powers resolution requiring Congress to okay further strikes.
The president does not get to declare war on his own.
Everybody talks about endless wars and comparing this to Iraq. It's been 5 days. Right? Iraq and Afghanistan was 20 years.
Since President Trump would likely veto the limit on his power, it's a largely symbolic measure that will show where lawmakers stand on the war. In Washington, Caroline Scheidle, Fox Chicago.
Well, the State Department is starting to get Americans out of the Middle East. Some airspace over there is still shut down.
Yeah, embassy problems are making it hard for people to get out. Amalia Roy is keeping us updated on what's happening next. Amalia.
Good evening, Terrence, Sylvia. The State Department's working through these issues they're having, and Israeli airspace is slowly opening starting tonight, but those flights are for bringing Israelis back home. I've spoken with some Americans over there who are trying to figure it all out. This has been the reality in Israel since Saturday. Jenna Fonberg and her friend Jetlyn Toledo landed in Tel Aviv just one day before the conflict began. Everyone's running. Now they're in and out of bomb shelters with Jenna's brother Blake, who lives in Israel.
We have a lot of new faces today because it's kind of close to the beach. So this is a lot of people that were walking on the boardwalk just run in here.
They have a flight home from Israel scheduled for Sunday. And they're hoping it sticks because they don't want to leave through Egypt or Jordan.
We're just like, let's ride the wave and see what happens because I feel safer being near a bomb shelter and being able to run in when I need it rather than driving 3 hours, 5 hours to Jordan or Egypt and just covering my head if I hear a siren.
Ben Suster was at the tail end of his honeymoon when the missiles began flying.
We woke up Saturday morning and literally we had a minute of peace, not exaggerating, of a second later, we hear the first siren.
After days of making a bomb shelter their home, the newlyweds found a way out through the nonprofit Gray Bull Rescue. But for security reasons, the group isn't sharing many details about their departure.
We don't even know what tomorrow's going to look like. We were told what the final destination would be, but when that happens, how we're getting there, not a clue. No idea what our route's going to be.
Suster said they felt safe in Israel, but they need to get home to Florida in time for his sister's wedding. The State Department says that nearly 18,000 Americans have returned home safely since the beginning of the operation. About 8,500 of those came back yesterday alone. They're still encouraging people who are abroad to register in the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program for any updates. In Phoenix, Arizona, Amalia Roy, Fox Chicago.
Wisconsin National Guard stepped in for Operation Epic Fury. That's what the operation in the Middle East is called. The Guard says over 400 other people are serving in the Middle East right now. The governor there is asking everyone to keep their troops in their thoughts while they're overseas. All right, talking to kids about what's happening, it's tough, but help is out there, and his name is Ben Sheehan.
He is the author of the children's book, What Does the Constitution Say?, co-host of the 10 News Children's Podcast, and host of the PBS show Civics Made Easy. Thanks for joining us. It's so nice to have you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, so we brought you here for a purpose. Are you ready? We want you to summarize what has happened in Iran since Sunday as if we're 8-year-olds. How do you explain this?
Sure. So in Iran, the United States has joined the country of Israel in an attack. And the stated reasons for that attack on Iran are that it's meant to change the regime and it's meant to stifle the Iranian government's pursuit of a nuclear weapon. And so that is what the government has shared with us in terms of their justification for these military actions.
And the U.S. and Iran have been long rivals, right? But they used to be close allies. So how do we go from friend to foe?
Well, there was a pretty significant change in 1979 where the government of Iran went from a monarchy to a theocracy. And over a period of the last 40 years, there have been numerous attacks by the government of Iran on U.S. military, on military bases. And so this has long been an adversary of the United States.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, answer this one then. So why did the U.S. attack Iran, and how did Trump decide to go to war? Because describing war and the purpose in going has got to be very difficult.
It is, but the Constitution is pretty clear on this, right? They gave the power to declare war to Congress. But in 1973, Congress passed a law called the War Powers Act. And it gives 3 scenarios where the president can initiate military action. One of them is in the wake of a declaration of war. The other is if Congress authorizes military action. And the third is if there's a national emergency, like an attack on the United States or to prevent an attack on the United States. And in those scenarios, the president is able to initiate military action. He has to inform Congress within 48 hours, and that action can only last 60 days, but they have an extra 30 days for troop withdrawal. So that's the law that really governs this process. And in the past, presidents have either violated it or likely violated it. But the question becomes, because we know there wasn't congressional authorization, is the situation with the United States and Iran, was there a national emergency created by an attack? That's really the question.
So I'm going back to third grade me, and I imagine little T. Lee would want to know, well, what does this mean for us? Should I be concerned? How's this going to affect the U.S. citizens?
Well, one of the most immediate ways is that it's going to affect gas prices. Obviously, people in third grade are not able to drive yet, but maybe on the way to school when they're stopping off, to fill up the car, they're going to see higher prices, or their parents are going to see higher prices at the pump. And this is because 20% of the world's supply of oil goes through a channel called the Hormuz Strait. And so when that's throttled and ships can't deliver oil fast enough to the United States, that increases the cost of manufacturing gasoline and increases the demand and lowers the supply. And so the pretty immediate feeling is going to be increased prices at the pump.
I've got to ask you, because we love the way you explain things. You have this children's book about the Constitution. You're on this podcast. How did you get into this? What made you realize, there's a market here we need to reach, not only children, but to explain some of the basic constitutional things that we have here? What got you into that?
So I grew up in Washington, D.C., and my parents worked in and with the federal government. And from a really young age, I would get these civics lessons over the dinner table about the difference between the House and the Senate and the powers of the president. And it wasn't until much later, when I was in my 30s, that I realized that was pretty unique. And I looked back on my own education. I realized that I didn't get civics classes in school. I went to school a couple miles from the Capitol, and I got a half a year in 8th grade. And so I started investigating how we teach civics in the United States. And that's when I realized that today only 7 states require a minimum of 1 year of civic or government education K through 12. And so a lot of people are concerned about the political process and want to get involved, but we've taken these classes out of schools. And so with my books and my PBS show and my Substack, Politics Made Easy, I try to kind of fill in the gaps that are created by this drop in civics classes and really bring people up to speed, because people really want to get involved, but they don't have, all the knowledge at their fingertips. And so I just want to make participation in civic engagement as easy as possible.
Yeah, easy and accessible. And like we said, if I can revert back to third grade me, a lot of people out here fronting like they know exactly what's going on, and we really don't. Some of us are ashamed to say we truly don't understand what's going on. So thanks for breaking it down for us, Ben.
Yeah, great to talk to you.
My pleasure.
We'll have you back again.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Thank you so much. We'll be right back.
All right, this is the kind of weather where you just want to curl up at home with a bowl of chili, minestrone,
Spaghetti and
wedgie
meatballs.
soup.
Yeah, you were saying spaghetti and meatballs, right?
But now I'm thinking I want soup.
Soup?
Tomato bisque,
Yeah.
lobster bisque,
and filling,
shrimp bisque,
with some bread.
All the
cheddar
bisques.
broccoli.
Cheddar broccoli.
Do I sound like
Wild
Forrest Gump?
rice. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah,
Right,
it
Emily?
does. It does. I agree with all of those. I would eat every single thing. Yes. You know, I'm at that stage of pregnancy, I guess. They all sound good, even all together. All right, satellite and radar out there. We have drizzle, we have fog, we have cloud cover, we have rain that is off to our south, and that's beginning to lift to the north. That's going to continue throughout the evening, the overnight, and then even into early morning tomorrow. We're still going to have some showers, maybe even a rumble of thunder around. Currently, we're starting to see some light showers moving into Kankakee County, portions of Newton County. So again, will continue to spread across the region during the evening and overnight. Temperatures tonight, they're going to hold very steady. For a lot of locations, lows are actually going to be right around 40 degrees, which is where a lot of us are right now. Your 5-day forecast tomorrow, 47, but jumping to 71 degrees for your high temperature on Friday. It's going to be coming along with the chance for showers and thunderstorms. We'll have one round mid to late morning through early afternoon, a second wave coming through Friday night into early Saturday. After that, falling temperatures during the day on Saturday and Sunday. We get back on track. We'll have some sunshine with a high of 61. Back to you.
All right. Thanks, Emily. Some sad news to report. Legendary Notre Dame football coach Lou Holtz has passed away. He led the team to a national title in 1988. He'd been in hospice care in Florida. He was 89 years old. We're going to have more on his incredible career coming up on the news at 5.
Okay, something we're watching closely here at home. People aren't filling a new plan for Grand Avenue. Laborers and business owners both agree that they've been left out of the loop.
Leslie Moreno joining us live from West Town with a preview of a news conference that's coming up at 5 o'clock. Leslie, what do you know?
Hey guys, good evening. Yeah, in about a half hour, residents as well as business owners will be gathering out here to publicly call out the mayor over a 1-mile reconstruction plan for Grand Avenue. That plan, we've got the renderings right there, will redesign Grand from Damon to Ogden, adding curbside bike lanes with concrete barriers. Those who are opposed say the bigger issue isn't just the design, it's the lack of public input. Supporters of what's called the Save Grand Avenue effort say they've been asking Mayor Johnson, 1st Ward and 27th Ward aldermen for meetings and compromise for more than a year, and they say those requests have been denied. The group says the plan would block emergency vehicles on Grand as well as slow down CTA buses and eliminate parking, which they say would hurt small businesses. We're told the first phase was completed in 2024. The second phase is scheduled for construction this year. Again, that press conference set to happen here in the next 30 minutes or so. We will be hearing from residents, business owners, as well as the Fulton Market Association. We have also reached out to the alderman and the mayor's office for comment as well. We will have much more on this coming up tonight at 5.
All right. Thank you, Leslie. Airplane etiquette has taken flight from social media to actual rule books.
The annoying habit that could get you kicked off your next flight. You had it coming. You had it coming.
New vision for change.
The iPod is back. That's how Nene Leaks used to say it, iPod. People are snapping them up too. Everyone's searching for them right now. Apple stopped making them in 2022, but something shifted. eBay searches for the Classic and the Nano jumped over 20% last year. Yes, younger people want to hear music without the phone drama. They're behind this new surge. Some students even bring iPods to school so they can listen without breaking any phone rules. So this is not necessarily Gen Z behind this. This is Gen Alpha.
Yeah.
Okay. Which one was the little bitty one? Was that the Nano?
That's the Nano.
Okay.
Yeah. Or no,
that was the Mini.
The Shuffle.
The Shuffle.
The little box Shuffle.
Because there was the Classic, there was the Nano, there was the Mini, there was the Shuffle.
Yeah.
I think I had them all.
Yeah.
iPod Touch.
Check in the room, Ma.
Yeah.
It's because all of us now that are raising kids, all of our kids are like finding our old gadgets and they're like, what's this? I want that.
Yeah.
I think I bought every single one of those for my kids.
They were nice.
Right? Yeah.
Okay. Don't lose those AirPods, headphones, whatever you got, because you'll need them next time you fly.
That's right. United Airlines just put out a new headphone rule. No headset, no jet set.
So you heard it right. United says you need those headphones on every flight now. I can't believe they have to tell people they have to do this.
They do.
So if people around you can hear your music or video, guess what, everybody? That's a problem.
It is.
They will kick you off the plane now, and you could get actually banned from future United flights.
Yep.
So sounds tough, but United's giving you a chance to get it right. If you forget your headphones, United's going to give you a basic pair for free, which is pretty.
No, you'd be surprised how many people don't wear the headphones, and then you're sitting there listening to like them, whatever game they're playing or whatever movie they're watching.
Now
like,
let's do that on the CTA.
And everywhere else.
What other things would you like to see, like an airline say, like you do this, you're off the flight? Like mine, like if you got your shoes off and your socks off, and you got the nerve to put your feet up on my armrest, and you're sitting behind me, banned. No fly list. Get off.
I can tell I'm on the bad side of threads right now because my feed is full of people being like, oh, you shouldn't have kids on airplanes. Well, of course I have kids and I'm about to have a baby. So like I'm thinking about these things. So I must have gotten triggered one day and just stared at a thread too long because that now like my whole feed is that.
I thought you were going to say feet. I thought she was getting feet.
No, Terrence covered the feet part. Yeah,
I'm like, that's a whole nother
I keep my shoes on.
Whole nother topic that we don't have time for today.
All right, so I have a question for you guys.
Yes.
Would you ever consider suing a friend for skipping your wedding?
Absolutely not.
No.
Crazy, right? Well, it sounds crazy, but listen to the rest of it.
Okay.
So one bride says that she just might, and here's the backstory. So on Reddit, this is where this all came about here, sharing her story. The destination wedding was in Bali.
Okay.
The bride says she paid nearly $2,400 for her friend's flight and hotel, but when it was time to exchange the vows, the friend and her husband, they were nowhere to be found. They didn't show up. So they skipped the ceremony and decided to use the trip as their own honeymoon instead. And the reason why was because the husband didn't want to attend. So the bride is invoicing her former friend and considering small claims court. But who do you think is wrong? Because originally I would have said no, but then hearing that.
Honestly, don't get me started. We use the word friend too loosely.
Exactly.
This does not sound like a friend to me. Even if your husband did not want to go, you still show up for your friend.
$2,400?
Yeah, and then you don't make you don't make an excuse for the husband. You say he didn't want to go, but I'm here.
Yeah.
Pay me.
Yeah.
Pay me, or we going to see Judge Judy.
Exactly. Like you said, friend.
Yeah, like we're using that word too loosely today. Y'all need to learn the definition of associate, because that sounds like what a lot of us have.
Yes, an associate. All right, I don't know if we should sing for this next story. I know I will not, but
we got to pay if we sing.
Oh, yeah, so we will not.
Hasn't stopped you in the past?
That song, no, but that song in particular.
This song.
Oh, okay.
Chicago's trending.
It's the city's birthday. You keep forgetting.
That's because today is the city's birthday, not Emily's birthday.
No, it's not mine.
Yeah, 189 years young and not looking a day over 100, okay? John Baptiste Point du Sable started it all in 1780, but Chicago became official on this day in 1837. Started with about 4,000 people. Now it's 2.7 million and counting, because y'all out there having babies and stuff. Mayor Johnson threw a party at Looking Glass Theater this morning. He and historian Sherman Dilla Thomas, you got to follow him on TikTok. He's awesome. Shouted out Chicago's culture and history.
I happen to be wearing the face of the guy that started it all. His name is John Baptiste Point du Sable. And he and his wife, Kitty Hawa, established a trading post that connected the Great Lakes to the Mississippi River, opening western expansion for our country. I'm happy to be raising my baby girl in a city where Florence Price is the first black woman to have her work performed by a major symphony orchestra. And it's no surprise at all that it's the Chicago Symphony Orchestra that performed that work. I'm happy to be raising this amazing young lady in the city that's the only city where the river flows backwards for the protection of its citizens.
So can we point out how she was looking at her dad? Just so proud of her dad. Parties are popping up all over the city, and someone's cutting a cake right now. We're not there, so please save us a slice.
Or two.
There was a different one. This was the cake for this morning. There's a different cake being sliced at 360 Chicago.
Okay, love it.
And it was at 4:30, so I'm sure that's gone now.
Can we talk about the cute doodle that's in the background?
I didn't even notice a dog.
Look how cute, right? Yes,
and see it. I had to look there for a second.
Yeah, so cute. Okay, so the party apparently will not stop today. Chicago's gearing up to go green for St. Patrick's Day, of course, but a new report finds Illinois isn't the most intense state for celebrations.
That report is disrespectful. Also, short-term rentals. The answer is no, unless, well, we'll tell you why one suburb is willing to reverse course.
It's starting the day with hope, knowing you're in the right place, having access to advanced treatments and the most experienced cancer experts. When you're facing cancer, it's not just one thing that makes the difference. It's everything. The big, the small, the unexpected that helps you keep moving forward. Advocate Healthcare. Cancer care that makes the difference. You've
who work as hard as you do.
All right, let's get back to it. The FAA wants fewer flights at O'Hare, and now United and American are at odds over gates.
Saquon is breaking down why the feds are getting involved.
Well, there's definitely some tension, some drama, if you will, between United and American Airlines, which we'll get into in just a second. But if things go the way the FAA is hoping for, flights in the summertime would be reduced here at O'Hare. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking this is going to lead to some more flight disruptions, but actually the FAA is trying to put travelers at the forefront, as they say this change could actually put them more at ease. Here's why they say that. The FAA says major airlines have overbooked flights at O'Hare, and it says cutting some of those flights could help reduce the number of delays and cancellations. The agency also says the current flight schedule could stress the safety systems at the airport, including runways, terminals, and air traffic control. So let's take a look at the flight schedule for this summer. We are looking at about 3,080 flights a day on the busiest days. That's about 400 more flights per day compared to last summer when they were operating 2,680 flights a day. Basically, the FAA thinks that's way too many, and they want to limit daily operations to 100 hourly departures and arrivals, which, when you do the math, comes out to 2,800 flights a day. As I mentioned, this ordeal is causing some drama as United and American Airlines have been battling it out for gate space. Both airlines are trying to add as many flights as possible to get more passengers and therefore win more gates. In a memo sent to team members, American Airlines pointed their fingers at United, saying in part, they proceeded to add approximately 130 additional flights this summer, bringing them to a 34% increase year over year. This is not meaningful growth. It was a ploy to overschedule the airport to manipulate a provision. That provision, by the way, is a reference to the current lease at O'Hare, which allocates gates based on the number of flights that were scheduled by an airline the previous year. We have reached out to United for a response. We still have not heard back. What we don't know at this point is how exactly this could affect passengers who've already booked their summer flights in or out of O'Hare. What we do know is that the FAA is going to start asking United and American to start cutting down some of those summer flights, and these meetings are expected to take place over the next few days. Back to you.
Right. Thank you, Say. Arlington Heights just said no more short-term rentals beginning July 1st.
But if the Bears show up, that could flip, the Chicago Bears, because they're trying to get them too, just like Indiana. Anyway, anybody with an Airbnb or Verbo, that's how you say it, right?
Yep, VRBO, Verbo.
That's about to be done. The Village wants rentals to be 30 days or more, so investors can't just scoop up houses. Hotels and long leases are still good. This is after neighbors kept calling out the party houses. Officials say they'll watch rental sites and handle complaints, and if the Bears move in, they might switch this up.
Interesting. Okay, data centers, a controversial issue, and now the city of Joliet is looking to make a decision. A 795-acre data center project is on the agenda for a special March 16th meeting, and if approved, this could be the largest tech center in the state. Projects like this have been controversial in part because of the demands for electricity and water for operations.
Some parents are hoping for a miracle. St. Albert School in Hoffman Estates is about to close. They're asking Pope Leo for help to keep the doors open, but the Archdiocese says they're not changing their mind.
Local researchers are trying to figure out if free dental care makes life better. The question, does getting your teeth fixed for free actually help your health?
Yeah, Chicago Medicine is running a study right now. The dentist pulls up to you, no insurance needed, all free.
And you don't need to participate, T. Chicago Medicine is looking for patients over the age of 50. Check UPS will be completed aboard a mobile dental clinic. Participants will also be eligible for a stipend of up to $150 a year. So to see if you're eligible, take a picture of the website on your screen, voices.uchicago.edu/oral health study. This is, by the way, a 5-year trial.
Temperatures are about to go up, but that also means our chance of severe storms is rising too. Emily has a full forecast next.
I'll never back down.
Taking a live look outside. We've had a little drizzle all day. It's coming on. It's coming down right now. It's not been heavy at any point, right? It's just kind of constant, it seems like.
Yeah, it's been very drizzly close to the lakefront, especially because we are dealing with some fog, some dense fog right out over the lake. So anytime we can get any sort of easterly component to our wind, it's kind of blowing that inland. So we are dealing with some drizzle out there, but we're actually tracking a warm front that's off to our south. And this storm system is going to be lifting to the north and the east, eventually moving right overhead tomorrow morning. But it's pushing the rain in our direction too. So let's zoom things in, take a look at the radar here. For those of you in places like Kankakee County, portions of Will County, we're starting to see some light showers coming through. A few more now breaking out into DeKalb County, Kane County, Aurora, starting to see some very light rain showers. And we're going to continue to see the showers kind of filling in across the region throughout this evening. Tonight, a stray rumble of thunder is possible, but most of the activity that we see tonight is really just going to be in the form of rain showers. So Futurecast taking us throughout this evening and tonight. Here comes that low pressure system. Warm fronts also going to come through. So our temperatures this evening and tonight, they're going to hold very steady. I think overnight lows going down to only about 40 degrees. And right now, that's where a lot of us are. So steady temperatures expected through the overnight. Showers tomorrow morning, but then notice by the afternoon, many of us are going to be spending the afternoon under mainly dry skies. We'll hold on to the cloud cover. I still think we're going to have some element of fog to deal with tomorrow as well. And then looking ahead to Friday, that's going to be the day that we have to watch. There's going to be a chance for isolated showers, maybe a couple rumbles of thunder in the morning. So from mid to late morning through early afternoon, and then a second round coming through during the evening and the overnight. And this one could potentially be bringing some damaging wind gusts. So that's what we're going to be watching for. Storm Prediction Center has Northeast Illinois in a slight risk. That is a level 2 of 5, level 1 of 5 marginal risk across most of Northwest Indiana. That's for Friday again. For tonight, 39 degrees. Again, that's basically where a lot of us are right now. Many of the suburbs already in the 40s. You're only going to drop maybe a degree or two. The 7-day forecast tomorrow, 47 degrees. We'll have those showers in the morning. Most of the afternoon looks fairly dry. And then on Friday, a couple rounds of storms, again, some of which may be strong, but temperatures so nice and warm. 71 degrees for your high on Friday. Saturday, 64, falling temps through the day thanks to a cold front. And then we are going to be back up to near 70 again as early as Monday. We'll be right back.
Content of this ad.
Here's what's happening on Wall Street. Stocks bounced back today and made up what they lost. Oil prices calmed down so people aren't as stressed about inflation. Oil had been jumping, but now it's sitting at $81 a barrel. 3 years ago, the U.S. Supreme Court said states cannot seize homes worth more than what's owed in property taxes.
And yet Illinois remains the only state in the country that is still doing that. Under Illinois law, if you fall behind in your property taxes, that debt can legally be sold to private tax buyers. These investors can then seize the property, remove the owners, and sell the home, pocketing the full value. Now, Springfield lawmakers are working to protect homeowners.
Cook County has had over 1,000 of these tax foreclosure seizures, property takings, and over 150 of those involve seniors.
Right now, the average age for a first-time home buyer in Illinois is 40. Lawmakers are pushing new legislation to lower some of the financial hurdles to help buyers make that first step. And by the way, the annual Cook County property tax debt sale that was scheduled for next week is now being delayed until December 1st, giving lawmakers some time to reform the sale process.
North and Halstead saw migration this morning. People lined up early trying to snag a Canada Goose jacket before they flew off the racks. These coats usually cost $600 to $2 grand. Today prices were slashed up to 70% off. No wonder the lines were so long at one point, stretched 2 blocks. By the way, if you missed it today, the sample sale runs through March 8th. Lollapalooza just announced this year's festival date, July 30th through August 2nd.
Yeah, the lineup is still under wraps. They do plan to announce it, though, this month.
Yeah, you can wait to buy tickets, or you can try to get paid at the same time as you're watching the concert. There's a job fair right now for the biggest music festivals. Both Lala and Sueños are hiring. They need people for artist relations, hospitality, security, and more. These events need all kinds of help. So it's a chance to get paid while you're enjoying the music. Businesses that want to vend can apply too. The fair is at Malcolm X College. The hiring fair runs until 7 tonight.
So everything's about to go green. Of course, Illinois ranking, believe it or not, just 5th in the country for St. Patrick's Day celebrations. That's what I said, Scott. Chicago always shows out, as we know. This is wrong.
So if we're number 5, yeah. Who is ahead? Sorry, yeah. I can't read. The things are cut off in this prompter. Here's the list. Iowa, Indiana, and number 1 is New Jersey. Sports betting website BetMGM came up with this using Google search data. By the way, the Chicago River goes green March 14th. The parade's the same day.
Well, it's not even Boston, Massachusetts. It's not even up there. This is crazy. Who did this? I want to know. I want questions. I have answers.
Google numbers, I guess. Okay, thanks for spending time with us at 4.
The 5 o'clock news will start right after this national update.
Good evening, I'm Bill Malugin, and this is your Fox News report. The U.S. and Israel neutralizing more Iranian forces on land and at sea.
An American submarine sunk an Iranian warship that thought it was safe in international waters. Instead, it was sunk by a torpedo. Quiet death.
A war powers resolution failing in the Senate today as expected, allowing the Trump administration to continue its strikes on Iran without congressional approval. The House will vote next.
Either you're lying or the court's lying, and I'm just asking you, which one is it?
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz in the hot seat today alongside Attorney General Keith Ellison for reportedly turning a blind eye to ongoing fraud in the state. The leaders arguing it's all just to distract from the federal government's immigration crackdown. Elon Musk testifying in federal court. He's accused of misleading shareholders before his $44 billion buyout of Twitter in 2022. Investors claim Musk violated the law when he tweeted the deal was, quote, on hold over fake accounts, a move they say drove the stock price down. And today is the Hindu festival known as Holi.